Justice League Dark Apokolips War is an epic finale to the DC animated universe. And before I get into the review, I'd just like to say that I'm sorry because this video is a little late. I actually watched the movie like over a week ago now, but I just haven't really had time to record these videos. But this is my non-spoiler review for the movie, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, then you can watch this video, because there will be no spoilers, and then I'll tell you exactly why you should watch this movie, because it's so good. I mean, everything about this is so great. But my spoiler review will be coming out in a few days, I think, maybe Tuesday, if I can find the time to record. But yeah, this is my non-spoiler review. So I just want to start off talking about how this is the end. Like, this is the culmination of the DC animated universe. There's been like 15 or 16 movies, and it's all been leading up to this. It ended where it started, because this universe started with the Justice League forming and defeating Darkseid in Justice League War. And of course, Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox was technically the first movie in this universe, but the first time we saw the Justice League as a group was them fighting Darkseid. And now they've come together to fight Darkseid one final time with some really cool team-ups in this movie, because this isn't just the Justice League. I mean, first of all, the movie's literally called Justice League Dark Apokolips War. So of course you have the Justice League Dark in here. And so it's Justice League Dark, and the Teen Titans, as well as the Suicide Squad. And I have to say that this movie's rated R, and it definitely earns its rating. It's very violent. That's what I'm going to say about it. Like, you're going to see your favorite characters get ripped to shreds. It's not pretty. But at the same time, DC compared to Marvel has always been on the darker side. That's why in the Snyder movies, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, that's why those movies are darker in tone compared to like Marvel movies, because that's just what these characters are like. They're just darker and more gritty, and this movie definitely conveys that. Now back to what I was saying about your favorite characters getting ripped apart. This movie starts off, as we kind of predicted, with the Justice League taking the fight to Darkseid. But as you can imagine, that probably didn't go very well, and half of them died. It's very similar to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. This movie is like those two movies, but smashed into one. Because you start off the movie, they're fighting the bad guy, half of them die, then they have to figure out a way to fix everything and bring everyone back. But will they do it? I don't know. You'll have to watch the movie to find out. But there's a lot of good characters in this. Some characters it is disappointing that we didn't get to see, because they're kind of dead. But I say the characters that got the spotlight here are definitely Raven, Damian Wayne, Superman, and of course Constantine. Constantine is like the lead of this movie. He is, of course, there to represent the Justice League dark side of things. And then it's similar to the Illuminati in Marvel, how you have like one member from each team. So you got Raven and Damian from the Titans, and then you got Constantine from Justice League Dark, and then you got Superman from the Justice League. And so it's really cool to see these heroes team up together that you wouldn't normally see, because they have to band together to figure out a way to fix everything and save not just their world, but the whole universe. Because, I mean, they've lost so much, so they have to fight together to fix everything. It's very similar to Avengers Endgame, as I've said before. And in my spoiler review, I'll go in depth on how many similarities there are between those two movies. But I have to say, there's also a lot of, like, for example, with the Teen Titans and the Suicide Squad, there's a lot of members in those teams that we see in this movie that we haven't seen in their previous movies. I'm not going to straight up tell you who they are right now, but based on who we saw in these teams in this movie, I think it would have been cool if we got to see at least one more movie for each of those franchises, because I really love the Teen Titans franchise, but especially seeing who's on the team now, it would have been really interesting to see another movie with these heroes joining the team. And then also, especially the Suicide Squad, they've got some great new members. I mean, it's basically the Legion of Doom, and it's just fantastic. Now, as for the villains of the movie, of course, it's Darkseid. He's the main villain. And he has this army of parademons, and I talked about them in my trailer breakdowns and stuff like that. I'm just gonna say for now that they're not normal parademons. They're definitely not, and they're very powerful and full of rage, and they like killing people. So yeah, you can kind of imagine how that went. But then also some of our favorite heroes have been turned to the dark side, and Darkseid is controlling them, literally, like, Darkseid. But yeah, it's fun to see these different sides of characters that you wouldn't normally see, because it's like post-apocalyptic versions of these characters, seeing how characters react to certain people's deaths. Plus, the way they end up in the end, it is just amazing. I'm not going to spoil it, because, I mean, this is the non-spoiler review, but how I'm going to end this review is I'm just going to say, this movie does come full circle to how this whole universe started. And while I am sad to see that this is the end of the universe, and they're doing a reboot and going off to do more standalone movies, I am very pleased with how they ended this off, because there's so many cameos, references in this movie to the past movies, and there's characters from basically every movie in this universe, and it's great. And like I said, the ending is perfect, and I wish we could see more, but we can't. I mean, we're getting a rebooted universe, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have seen the movie, please let me know down in the comments below. But remember, no spoilers, because this is the non-spoiler review. So I'll save those spoiler discussions for the spoiler review, which should be out in a couple days, as I said. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.